one more visual for you on natural and synthetic brushes. I like this graphic because it gives you different shapes of the brushes, which we're going to talk about next. But I noticed that the natural hair brushes on the left are all squirrel brushes. Again, I'm not real sure how those will work for you because I haven't used the squirrel hair, but I love the different sizes that they give you. And if you look below each brush, it kind of tells you what it is. That quill brush, nice fat belly there, would be good for watercolor. The cat's tongue, ooh, look at that nice point you have down there. The flat wash brush comes in a size from 10 to 30. Huge for putting down large areas of watercolor paint. And then there's the bright, which is kind of a shorter flat, a nice round brush, and then the mop. So let's talk about the synthetics on the right. Some of the shapes are the same. And I'll let you know that the top one there that says one stroke, it's probably called a bright because it has a longer bristle than the flat brush does. Or do I have that backwards? Maybe that's the flat. Yeah, I think it is because down here it says bright. So the angular brush is a nice one if you're doing decorative painting. Teeny tiny retouch brush, a nice liner. Liner brushes are they're a round brush, but they usually have less bristles and they're longer, so you can get nice thin strokes with them. Here is a wash brush. The filbert is also sometimes referred to as a cat's tongue because it's like a flat brush with the edges cut off. And then here is the bright, which looks like it has shorter bristles than the one stroke up at the top. Fan brushes are always fun to use. The long round and a round are the last two. Again, they can be used for if you're doing portrait painting or landscape painting. You may want to try some of those. When I started out in painting decades ago, we'll say, I won't tell you how many years, but it was a while back. The ones in the top row were used a lot for decorative painting. Starting at the top row, you can see that's called a Tack round, so you know right away that it's a synthetic brush because it says Tack. So there's the round brush, there's the fan, which is great for painting little trees and such. The angular brush can be fun when you're painting decorative flowers and leaves. This comb brush is, I had one, but I never really used it because it had both short and long bristles, and it just didn't seem like it was worth the money for me. The next one is the natural mop with that beautiful purple circle. A mop usually means that it has a nice fat belly and it holds a lot of water. So that would be good for your watercolor. And then we have a shader, which can also be called the bright or a flat. There's the natural round, which since it says natural round, I'm assuming that it is a natural hair brush, but it might not always be. And here's that ox glaze brush I talked about before, the ox hair. I've used this. Ugh, don't like it. It leaves hairs everywhere. You don't have a chisel edge. Not a fan. I much prefer like a flat brush where I have that nice chisel edge. On the bottom row, you'll see that there's some white bristles and some of the yellower color bristles. So the ones with the white bristles that say bristle flat, bristle round, bristle fan, those are all hog hair brushes. Stiff. So is the stencil brush. If you've ever used one, it's flat on the top, round, and very dense, and you pounce with it.